right, let's watch the clock and see how long this takes, and we'll wait for everybody to come up. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Let's see, that's not flash. Waiting. Do 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 do. There's 25 seconds. Let's see what the delay is tonight. We're gonna break their record of 40. That's 30 seconds. Still waiting. No, YouTube, we're not waiting for me. We're waiting for you. Okay, I'm still waiting. That's 40 seconds. Okay, a couple of you guys just said 5x5, which is, oh, what do you know? Here comes my screen. Boy, my stuff's slow tonight. No, TWRA is on my ad tonight. There we go. All right, I can see what's going on, and there's a whole bunch of you guys that said 5x5. There we go. So I missed a lot of it, but okay. I guess I'm the one that's the furthest delayed on watching my own live stream. Go figure. Well, okay. Greetings all. Happy Saturday night. We made it. Hope everybody had a good day. Personally, I had a absolutely stellar, phenomenal, happier than a pig in slop day. The reason being, my solar system works. Finally, we figured out what the problem was. At about 2 o'clock this afternoon, we got the first string running. By about 3 o'clock, we got the second string running, and overcast day today, but was getting 800 to 1100 watts of input. I could only get 1600. I mean, if it was a sunny day. And I was happy. So it's supposed to be sunny for the next 2 days and then rain on Tuesday. So the plan for us is to test all this stuff out. And I will show you sometime next week exactly what we did and how it's all working, and give you some test results, because if you guys are putting together your own power grid, I guess, for lack of a better word, a little bit of knowledge goes a long way, and maybe I can save you a few of the headaches that I've gone through. So, all right, that was the fun part there. I did want to mention this real quick, and I know he came up and mentioned it a few minutes ago. The mod's going to jump the gun, but I saw it. New channel, guys. If you guys have seen him, probably not, because it's relatively new. God's Prepared Warrior is going live after we're done tonight. I will put the link right below for his channel. So you guys can go check that out. But I've watched his stuff. His stuff is legit. It's good stuff. He's been around here on the, in our family here for at least a year that I can think of. And worthwhile, go listen. You know, always good to get other perspectives. I mean, it goes right into what I've said many times. I don't have all the answers. Nor does anybody else. But, you know, all of us have some. And if you can put it all together, it just makes you a more informed, educated, well-rounded, ready person. So that was something I did want to mention there tonight. But I know, you know, a few of you guys have started channels. I know Prep Rebel has put up his channel. I know a bunch of you guys watch Prep Rebel, and of course, you know, always go check out his channel. I mean, he puts up good stuff. I loved the video the other day when he was calling out trolls, which doesn't surprise me because he's a mod here too. But I mean, support the smaller channels, guys, the good ones too, because guess what? I was a small channel at once, and you guys all found me. Okay. Sure, there are channels that don't offer anything. I mean, and we know that. I've seen them, and we move on along. Then there's other channels that there's some really good insight on. and it's a shame that people don't see them all, because they don't show up from YouTube recommendations, and unless you know somebody's there or whatever, unless you know the person personally or somehow you knew him from another live stream or something. I'm just saying, if there's channels out there that I like, that you guys know of, I mean, there's a whole bunch of them out there. I mean, many of you guys say, did you see, still, you guys send me videos all the time. Did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see whatever? And I go check them out, and, some of them I'll keep an eye on for a while, and others of them I'm like, okay, they've been spending too much time in the crack pipe and Hunter. But yeah, keep staying informed. It's important because the world keeps getting crazier. But I just wanted to throw that out there. God's Prepared Warrior, worthwhile going to check out here in an hour. The one piece of fun information that came out today, if you guys saw this, in all the great trials that Trump is trying to fend off at the same time where he's running for president, did you guys catch the stuff with Jack Smith and that trial and the whole January 6th insurrection crap? The one where Trump is saying he's got presidential immunity, and Jack Smith. Yeah, that one's not going too well for the prosecution, because Clarence Thomas questioned whether or not Jack Smith even has authority to bring a case. Okay, because he's not a federally appointed attorney. He's never been confirmed by the Senate. He was never even nominated for a federal attorney's position, which means he doesn't have the legal authority to bring a lawsuit. Oops, Joe, you screwed up again. Not a big surprise. What do you have? 3 big gaffes this week? Crossing himself at an abortion rally. That was kind of funny. Saying something along the lines of, don't trust the United States. And then another one of his famous gaffes of reading off the script and going, da-da-da-da-da, pause. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that word. Yeah, Joe, I got it. Okay. All right. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. What did I just see here? I'm missing something here. Hang on. I just popped something here. Bear with me. I want to look at something. Well, we have a esteemed visitor with us tonight. I just noticed because somebody made a comment in there. I mentioned to you about getting my solar completed today. And if you look, Solar One USA is in the chat room. So came to say hi. So I'm not sure who is there. I'm taking a guess. It's probably Jason, but I'm not sure. Those are the guys that I talked to you guys about, a week, I think it was Monday, about who's doing everything. Maybe it was a week ago Monday. But I mean, they came out and did everything and would not quit until it was done right. And today they finished and it was done right. And we were all pretty damn excited when it was done right. Because y'all know as well as I do, there's a whole bunch of companies out there that will try to sell you anything and then it doesn't work. Okay. These guys didn't try to sell me anything, nothing at all, but made sure everything worked. I love when I find companies, you guys know how many times we deal with Elliott and Wellbots. I love working with companies that the customer is their most important thing. And I found that in these guys, and I cannot sing their praises enough. So, like I said, and you can go back and watch the video from a week or so ago, but I mean, if you are looking at anything and live in the 17, 18 states they do business in, worth a phone call. Just saying. Okay. All right, let's get into Q&A, because I'm rambling here for 10 minutes now. As per normal, if you have questions for me, please put them in all caps. Like every other channel on YouTube, it just makes life easier for me to find the comments. Okay. But the one thing that I absolutely insist upon, require, is that you do not treat anybody despairingly. Okay. That don't be an asshole, just be polite. Okay. Engage brain before putting fingers in gear. You've heard me say that before. Okay. If you're a troll, if you just want to cause problems, just leave now. Because the first time you stick your foot in your mouth, the mods are going to stick a boot in your ass and you don't come back. So there aren't second chances. Either you play nice and play by the rules, the one rule, okay, or you don't play at all. Simple as that. All right, let's get into some Q&A and see what's on y'all's mind. I figure we're going to have a boatload of questions in regards to solar, the gardening, the idiots in Washington. Pick something here. So let's kind of go where. Flint McRock, good ball cap. Hey, I like this one. I haven't worn this one in a while. I think this was, who is it? DOS SFC and Wyoming Yeti sent me this one, I believe. I think they sent it to me a couple of years ago. Let's see. Fat Daddy's Outdoor Cooking. Solar is power and freedom. Yeah, I could not agree more, because it's a simple deal as this. And you know me, I don't believe in solar, these monster solar farms and stuff like that, because Germany was a good proof. It snowed. Texas, what, 2 months ago, month and a half ago, and a hailstorm knocked out everything. Okay. On a large scale, running a city, not reliable enough for me. For home, yeah, because if my calculations are right, and my last test is right, a day and a half's worth of sunshine gets me 4 days worth of power. Okay. Now, no city out there is going to be able to say that a day and a half worth of sunshine is going to power the city for 4 days. Okay. They're probably hanging on by threads. Just saying. On the go. Yeah, here you go. Pinball, do I grow huckleberry? If so, where do I plant it? No. Let's see. Raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, gooseberries, goji berries. Do I have any others? I think that's it for berries. I got 5 kinds of berries. No, I don't have huckleberries. Sorry. Oh, and nope, there's one more. I can't think of the name of the plant now, because I moved it from the front yard to the back. The medicinal one. Crap, I can't think of it. Yeah, so sorry, but yeah, there's 6. Okay, I couldn't tell you where to plant them because I've never planted huckleberries in my life. So sorry, I'm not going to be the one with that answer. Montana Girl 4530. I grow everything in containers. I've heard it's good to sanitize the soil with boiling water before planting. Any truth to that? Okay, let's kind of go into a couple of things on this. Yes, there's absolute truth to this, okay? However, depending on things. First off, if you're going to start with seed trays, like most of you, I mean, I start all my seeds, you guys know that. The first thing you need to do before planting every spring is wash out all your little cells with hot water and a teeny tiny little bit of bleach, okay? You want to kill anything, any diseases, fungus, anything that grew on them over the winter, because what it's going to do is spread into the plants and you're going to have problems, okay? So there's the first thing. Second thing I've told you about Seed starting is when you're making your own seed starting mix. Peat moss, vermiculite, perlite, a little bit of fertilizer. I showed you guys how to do that. You want to hydrate that with boiling water. The reason being is peat moss is notorious for having fungus gnats in it. And if you hydrate it with boiling water, obviously doing this before you put it in cells, okay, you will kill any of the fungus gnats and you will kill any of the eggs, and then you don't have all these little freaking bugs flying all over the place. Another good idea. What you're asking is a little different, okay? If you've got soil that you've used before, which I'm taking a guess that's where you are, you want to revitalize it. So you want to mix in a little bit of fertilizer, maybe a little bit of compost or whatever. But if you're going to revitalize your soil by putting the compost in or anything like that, you don't want to use boiling water, because what you wind up doing then is killing the microorganisms. If you have the old soil, do it this way. Rehydrate that old soil, put your fertilizer in, whatever you use, okay? Mix all the soil together and rehydrate that with boiling water. Then mix in any sort of organic material you're going to use, preferably compost, because that will put good microbial life into the soil, but you've killed any of the old stuff from last year, because you don't know if you've got eggs or disease or fungus or something like that in it. So yes, it's a good idea, but you have to do it in the right order. Okay. Hope that answers that question. It's a little more detailed than probably you were looking for, but the question was a little vague. Sherry, Florida boss girl. So do I ferment or can my beets? We can ours. We've pickled some. Pickled a little bit. Mostly because the biggest thing we use beets for here is borscht. We can them, and then Mrs. P can use whatever she needs to do when she wants to make a pot of borscht. Sometimes we can the borscht, and sometimes we can the beets. It depends on what's coming in. The issue that we get with canning the borscht is the cabbage comes in before the beets, and so usually when we can make our borscht, it'll be last year's beets with this year's cabbage, and then we can can the borscht. So yeah, you got to figure stuff out like that. It's like, okay, and again, depends on what you do. I mean, are you an ingredient canner or are you a meal canner? And we have a tendency to like to meal can because, gee, you've been out doing something all day long, you're hungry, you take a jar, you dump it in a pot, you warm it up for 5 minutes, and poof, you've got dinner. As opposed to, I've got all my ingredients, and okay, now I still have to go cook. But for some things, yeah, you still got to go cook anyway. So, but that'll come with practice on what's most convenient for you. I mean, yeah, you go, okay, that sucks. You've got to can your beets twice. Sure, we can the beets in 2023, and then we'll turn it into borscht and can it again in 2024. It doesn't change the flavor profile or anything like that of the beets, but that's what works for us. Southern Magnolia. Tornadoes to the left of me, storms to the right. Here I am stuck in the middle with y'all. Yeah, I saw there's some bad tornadoes going through the middle of the country. So I didn't pay much attention to it. I've been busy today. But yeah, I saw that we've got some severe weather. So if you are in the line of the tornadoes, I will tell you this: turn off the Weather Channel, turn off the local news, because by the time they tell you something's going to hit you, you're dead, or, picking the tree out of your living room that just missed your face. Go watch Ryan Hall on YouTube. RyanHall, y'all. Okay. by far best channel for paying attention to severe weather I've ever seen. I mean, literally, I've watched, I mean, this was last year, but watching him with tornado trackers going street by street by street live in a neighborhood, telling you exactly where it is. Okay? You turn on the local news and they'll go, yeah, it's hitting the west side of town. Great. You know, I live in Chicago. The west side of town takes you an hour and a half to drive north to south from. Okay? You know, however you want to look at it that way. Watch Ryan Hall. Another channel plug. All right. Tricia, pinball, that small opus works perfectly. Got it in 3 days. Perfect. Good. Yeah, I mean, the fun part with the with opus is they got some really good prices, and when they come up with some of these sales, they oversell. So I dealt with that with one of you guys and this past week where when they had their Earth Day sale, I think it was, they wrote him back and said, sorry, we ran out. Can you wait till June? And I got a hold of them. I said, you guys got to figure this out. They had no way in the freaking world. They took care of it. So don't ask me where they found it from. Maybe they found one in a store or something. I don't know what they did, but they took care of the one of y'all. And, you know, because no, I'm not going to work with them if they can't deliver what they're asking for. So, and, you know, fortunately, I got a little pull, so that helped. And I got no problem doing that. You know, you guys need to be treated right, especially if it's something that I'm talking about here on the channel. Let's see. Mike D, Florida for Trump, okay? Let's hope there's 49 states. I wish there would be 49 states that would agree with you, but yeah. Vicky Savage, that's a great comment. God has all the answers. We don't even have all the questions. I could not agree with you more on that. That very prophetic there. Okay, cruising on down the road. Jacqueline Presnell, pinball, which solar cooler do I recommend? One. There's only one. It's the one that's sitting right behind me. It's, what's the name of the brand on it? Crap, I don't know. It says Lion Cooler on it, capital L, little lowercase I-O-N, which is basically lithium ion, okay? But the symbol has a seal on it. And that is the only one that I've ever tested that's worth a shit. And I mean, I told you, I mean, I got the EcoFlow one time. Elliot wanted me to review it. And I got back to him. I'm like, this thing's garbage. And I mean, I sent it back to him. But the lithium ion cooler, this Lion cooler that we've had a few times, Elliot's had a sale on them for him. That's definitely the one I have, and it's the only one I'd recommend. Now, I will, full disclaimer in this, I haven't tried every single one that exists. Of the ones I have tried, that's the only one that's any good. And I mean, remind you this, I've had this one for 2 years. It sits right there, stays plugged in. I mean, it's solar. I mean, if I want to, I can go charge it on, you know, solar panel if I want. It just stays plugged in. It stays charged. It doesn't speak. It doesn't argue with me. It doesn't do anything. You know, it's kind of like a gun. You know, if you don't touch it, it doesn't do anything. Tell that to a liberal, though. But yeah, no. You bring up an interesting point. Lyle Rasmussen says, how about Ted Nugent for vice president? No, sorry. No. I will also tell you this. I completely am pulling my support from Kristi Noem from being vice president. I will almost bet that after the stunt she pulled, that her tenure as governor of South Dakota is probably done. I would say she committed political suicide this week. Uh, she's published a book. And she's, of course, got some sort of book tour, if you will, talk to people, whoever wants to talk to them. And she was talking about in the book, which got brought up either yesterday or today, and it went viral, about taking an 18-year-old or 18-month-old puppy she had and taking it to their gravel pit and shooting it. Why? Because, as she put it, I can't have an untrainable dog on my farm. Apparently, the dog was out on a pheasant hunt and didn't hunt well and chased all the pheasants, had a field day. And apparently the dog got loose and killed a couple of her chickens. So her answer was to take the dog out back and shoot it. Now, you know me and dogs. I'm sorry, there's a lot better thing to do with that dog. If the dog's not a good farm dog, give it to somebody to have as a pet. I'm happy when my dogs chase the birds out of my yard or the squirrels or the chipmunks or anything like that. That's a good thing in my house because it keeps them out of the gardens. Okay? Don't have chickens to worry about the dog's killing. But my question for Christy Noem would be, how did the dog get access to your chicken coop? Let's see, if we execute people or execute for making a mistake, I'm surprised somebody hasn't taken you out to the gravel pit. Now, the funny part to all of that is it was bipartisan that they went and bitched about Christy Noem, condemning her for what she did. Though I get a kick out of it because all the liberals who were screaming and yelling about Christy Noem killing a dog have no problem if she would have killed an unborn baby. Just think about that for a second. Just saying. Okay. State Time 85 question: what food garden protection do we need when the cicadas come out? You should be okay. The cicadas are going to go after the trees more than anything else, especially new growth wood on your fruit trees. That's what you really have to worry about. They're not going to go in your vegetable gardens or anything like that. Don't worry. They're looking for young wood. So the best thing you can do is spray your trees with, and I've said this many times, kale and clay. If you don't know what kale and clay is, you can buy it on Amazon. It's KAOLIN. Okay, it's basically the same stuff that they make women's foundation from. Makeup. Okay. The reason that bugs don't like it is it's sticky to them on their feet. So and so then they start getting it over them, and then they have a problem breathing. So they will stay away from it. Yeah, put that on there. That should solve your problems. Brandy, thank you for the super chat. Do I see martial law coming with university protests and tonight's protests at the state presidential dinner? Well, God help us if we have another Kent State. Okay. I mean, I think most of us are old enough to at least know about that. Whether you're old enough to remember it, it's a different question. I think I was 2. So no, I don't remember it. I think it happened in 68, wasn't it? Somewhere around there. But yeah. Do I see martial law coming from that? No. Could it be possible that the National Guard gets called in? Yeah. Especially in New York or something like that with this whole Columbia University. I mean, think about that. Kathy Hochul called the National Guard to go into the New York subways just in case somebody did something. Here you got, yes, I'll use the term, violent protesters in New York City, actual ones. Compare the protest on January 6th to the protest that's been going on in New York for the last, 10 days or whatever it is. Tell me which one was violent. I'm wondering how many of those people are going to spend a year and a half, 2 years in solitary confinement without any charges being brought against them. It's funny seeing these pictures of these liberals who are screaming, death to America, death to Israel, and then all of a sudden the cops arrest them, and they're like, "Oh no, you can't! I've got to get to my shift at Starbucks." Yeah, So, no, I don't see martial law coming. We need something. We need something a lot more expansive and serious than just some of this crap that's going on. Von Mousetrap, local kids were selling things. One of them was a $2 bill. He had it for sale for $500. I told him if someone gives him $500, that's great ROI. I got a whole bunch of $2 bills. I've got ones that are consecutive serial number $2 bills that are uncirculated. Guess what they're worth? $2. That's it. It's spendable currency. But you guys do know, we are still printing $2 bills. Okay. We have been for 40, 50 years at least now. And you can go back to before that. I think they started them again, I want to say in 1976. We've been printing them since then. So, yeah, but you're right. If you got somebody gave him $500, it's a hell of an ROI. Tristan, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. We'll add a little bit more money to the Christmas fund. So, Mike D, anyone hear about the 85,000 pounds of lunch meat recall? Nope, I haven't heard of this one yet. We had ground beef just recalled again the other day. There literally somebody could put together a YouTube channel on food recalls and could probably make a video a day, because what have we seen so far? Turmeric, chocolate, ground beef. Now you're telling me lunch meat, and those are the ones I can think of in the last 2 weeks. And I don't follow where all the recalls are. I know there's one lady who will talk about them on YouTube all the time about recalls, and I'm just like, I don't care whether it's baby food or diapers or oil filters or whatever. There's always something. Good. For those of you guys that are older than me, how many recalls do you remember in the 60s or the 70s? Probably very, very few, because we actually had people that did their job. Quality. Remember Ford's old tagline? This got to go back 20, 30 years. Quality is job one. Go into most companies now and ask somebody in a what's your quality standard? And they don't even know. Okay. Whether they're Six Sigma or whether they're Toyota or whatever. You talk to most companies, they don't even know what it is. Yeah. Tristan, you're up here again. What do you got? I couldn't plant this year because my wife passed. Dude, but after eating my sweet potatoes last year, I'll buy extra stock. Hint. There you go. Sorry about the wife, but keep going forward. That's all I can say. Sorry. Rock just rock, Rach just Rach, Rach just Rach. One of the three, somewhere else. Might get it right. What's my favorite meal in a jar? That's easy. I bet you 99% of the people here know what it is. Chili. My chili. Okay. Which, yes, I know. I put beans in my chili, and everybody's like, there's no beans in chili. In my chili, there's beans. Okay. My chili, there's corn. Uh, but yes, yeah, hands down, no question, 100% my favorite meal in a jar is chili. And I can't wait till I can eat some chili because I still have 35.8 pounds to go. So, yes, my Saturday weigh-in today was 285 point, it was either 285.8 or 285.6, one of the two. So this is the lowest I've been yet. So I'm still doing good. So I'm down 23.5 pounds or something like that right now. Doing well. 3.5 pounds this week. I was happy. And of course, the next question comes up from Pac-Man, still on the keto diet. Now, I'm not on keto, I'm on carnivore. So, which is kind of like keto on steroids. So, yes, I'm still on it. And like I said, I'm going for 250. So that's my goal by Labor Day. Soul Reaper. I've been watching Ryan Hall Y'all's live stream all day. Very informative. Yes. I talked about it earlier. I will agree. Nothing else I can add. Elderberry. There you go. Judy Mulligan got it. That's it. I couldn't think of it. Elderberry. Yes, that was the other berry I got. Brain dead. What's on my hat? It's basically, if you look closely, it is, if you can see that, it's an eagle's beak. The American flag being the beak. Okay. Delbert Jones, Pinball, Ryan's up live now. That doesn't surprise me one bit with the weather that's going through the middle of the country. Royal Lioness says, Pinball, I do both styles. Makes meals simple, but adds the ability to change. I'm assuming we're talking about ingredient canning or meal canning. And yeah, like I said, I pretty much do both too. It just depends on what's convenient. I mean, I've got jars and jars and jars and jars of potatoes that I can't even eat right now. Yeah, I got potatoes growing. So, I mean, if I get 150 pounds of potatoes again, which seems to be about what I get out of the plot I have of potatoes each year, I'll have 250 pounds of canned potatoes. Probably not going to grow potatoes next year. So, if I can't eat any yet. But I still have them because, trust me, if the world goes to shit and there is no grocery store, you're going to be happy to have any kind of food. So, yeah, then we're all on a diet. Sandra Matthias, we got our little opus today. Thank you for the recommendations. You are most welcome. Let's see. And we shot to the bottom here. So I got to find where it was. Hang tight. There we go. We're close. The hat. There's the last one. Okay. Prep Rebel. I got one of those cooler freezers. It's awesome. I highly recommend it as well. Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad somebody else agrees with me. Let's see. Auburn Prepper. What do I think of wind turbines in the ocean? They kill the whales. All right. Wind turbines are a losing proposition, period. Okay. If you look at the studies on wind turbines, they have a lifespan of about 30 years. The cost to put up one turbine does not, to build the whole thing and install it, it does not generate enough electricity at retail prices before the turbine itself is obsolete to pay for itself. It is a money losing proposition. Again, I go into the video I made, I think it was yesterday. Have you ever known a business that comes up and says, hey, cool, there's a way to lose money? Okay. The wind turbine business, there's one. Okay. As for them being in the ocean, that has got to be the absolute stupidest idea I've ever heard. Let's go out and destroy an ecosystem, okay, the ocean, that, let's just use New England, for example. A lot of people in New England count on for their livelihood. But let's destroy that ecosystem for something that is inefficient and costs more than it's worth. Please tell me where there is any positive out there. Oh, but you're saving the planet. No, you're not. Kill off all the whales. Let's do something like that. Let's stop all the crabbers in Maryland or the lobster fishermen up in Massachusetts and New England from going out because, oh, now they're protected waters. We have to protect the windmills from the fishermen, right? Yeah. Don't even get me started on this one. Again, I'll say the same thing that I said about solar. Wind turbines can be very useful on a individual basis. Okay? Now, for me, they ain't going to work worth a squat because I'm on the side of a mountain and the mountain range right there, it's almost like a bowl, so the wind all just goes right above me. But for a lot of people, it could be very useful. Use it if it works for you. But again, this grand scale stuff doesn't work. And if you go back, I think I did this about a year ago, and I'll say it again. You know, all this electric car crap, and Joe wanting all the cars in the country to be EVs by, was it 2035, I think it is, or something like that. And I went and broke all the numbers down. And as I said, if you replaced every single car in the United States, not school bus, not semi truck, not box truck or, you know, commercial vehicles, I'm talking POVs, personally owned vehicles. If you replaced every car in the country with an electric vehicle and you wanted to run it on solar panels, solar power, you would have to cover the entire states of Utah and Nevada with solar panels to generate enough electricity. That's how much. Not efficient. Carolyn Food Forest 355. I'm hoping for Ben Carson for vice president. I wouldn't, I mean, before, what was it, 2016, before Trump came down the escalator, I mean, Ben Carson looked like he was in good shape. I was actually, Ben Carson was who I would have picked until Trump got in the mix. I like Ben Carson. I think he's excellent as a human being, as a role model, as anything. Could he do the job? Absolutely. I don't think he has the demeanor to be Trump's running mate. Trump needs somebody that's going to complement him. In other words, not be the opposite, be the same. Somebody who spits fire and pisses vinegar. Ben Carson ain't that guy. Okay. I mean, the one I'd still like to see is Ted Cruz. It ain't going to happen, but it's going to be interesting to see who Trump picks. But if Trump picked Ben Carson, I'm cool with that. I just don't think he wouldn't be my first choice, considering what I think Trump needs to get over the finish line. Limited access. Christy Nome's tenure is up in 12 months anyway, unless she was going, hey, I want out of politics, which I don't see that happening. You know, she had eyes on a bigger prize, is my guess, and I think she just committed political suicide. Let's see. Prep Rebel, am I growing any citrus trees? It gets too cold here in the winter for them. Can't do it. You know, we have not a lot, but probably a dozen or so days below freezing. Days. I mean, we have many nights below freezing, but we have a dozen or so days that are usually below freezing each winter. Citrus trees couldn't survive here. North Alabama hiking. I'm a little late to the party. I was trying out Five Guys burgers and fries. So you took out a second mortgage, huh? I've eaten at Five Guys one time. This was in Vegas one time. I was not impressed with the food at all. I didn't think it was very good. But I was absolutely shocked that Mrs. P and I I think we got like 3 burgers, 2 orders of fries, and 2 Cokes. And mind you, we left Vegas in 2019. Okay. And my bill was $30. Like, really? For a fast food joint? I mean, I could go get a burger, fries, and a Coke at a sit-down restaurant and pay $30, including tip, and actually have a better burger. Yeah, no. Pennsylvania Country Girl. I remember Kent State. Awful. Yeah. Busted Beak. Pinball. I'm from South Dakota. Did I say Gnome shot the dog? Yes. Shot the dog in the head and killed the dog. TK, QQQ. As soon as I see that, I think the ticker symbol for the ETF on the NASDAQ. Yeah, sorry, just old habits die hard. Stupid question. What do I do for fun? Let's see. I mean, first off, I have fun gardening. Okay, I'll give you this. I love to build things. I told you guys last week I was building the shutters for my house. We put those up yesterday. So those are the ones we built were done, and I knew Mrs. P was going to look at them and go, yeah, we need it on the other windows. And sure enough, she came out and said, we need it on the other windows. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 more sets of shutters I've got to build. Like we just hung 4. So we'll see what happens. But love to do that. I love to tinker in my garage, play around with stuff, build things. I mean, out of whatever. See how creative I can get. You guys know I go bowling. Love to play golf. You know, my days of playing softball are behind me. I can still do it, but I'm not going to keep up with kids half my age anymore. You know, probably still strike them out though if I was throwing hardball. So, let's see. Be blessed, John 3:17. Please talk about bartering, how to make connections, how to stay safe. I just got to go back a couple of years. I've done a couple of videos on this, but yeah, it's been a long time. How to make connections, you're going to have to see somebody having something that you want, and you are going to have to go ask. Okay. You know, this is the big problem with Gen Z and the millennials. They have no social skills. So you can forget about them bartering there. But I have a Starbucks cup, and, you know, I have a $2 bill and I think it's worth $500. Okay. You know, great. Good for you. They have no social skills whatsoever. You're going to have somebody in your group, your mag, your family, whatever it is, who's good at it. The one I would suggest is somebody who's made a career out of sales. They are used to negotiation, because I guarantee you when a barter situation comes up and you need a gallon of gas from somebody, nobody's going to go, oh, out of the goodness of my heart, you know what, give me 5 rounds of ammo. No, they're going to go, yeah, a gallon of gas, huh? Give me 5 boxes of ammo. And you're going to be like, I can't give you that much. Nope, then I don't have any gas for you. This is where you need somebody who knows the art of negotiation. Now, the same part goes into that is there's a couple of rules for bartering. First off, you never barter on your home turf, ever, okay? Because now you're showing them everything you have. Somebody wants to barter with you, great. We'll meet you at the old gas station. at 2 o'clock. And the only thing you bring with you is the item that they're interested in. Okay. If they come back and say, oh, well, you know what, we'd like your gun too, or whatever. No, the only thing that's on the table is the box of beans that you wanted. That's it. Okay. Because if you take more, they're going to want more. Okay. So they've got to come up with the idea, well, we can either get what we need now, or we can reschedule for tomorrow or later this week or never. Okay. The other unwritten rule in bartering, never, ever, 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 ever trade ammunition. Trade for it, absolutely. Never give it away. And I'll give you the exact reason why. I want to trade something for you. I want you to give me a box of ammunition, and I'm going to give you a bag of beans. You go, great. I give you the bag of beans, you give me the box of ammunition. I go, cool. I put my gun out, I pop the round in, I go, poof. Now I go home with a box of ammunition minus 1 round and a bag of beans. Pretty easy. Always take at least 1, if not 2, security people with you when you go to barter. Okay. Should be pyramid formation. The negotiator in the center, the 2 security guys behind at 45-degree angles. That way you cover all lengths of sight. Yeah, TK, you can order $2 bills at any bank. Yeah, that's it. It ain't nothing special. Jack Conoff. It's those Clinton $3 bills that I collect. Yeah, I hear you can pay for assassinations with them. You know, Hillary's got, 64 of them or something like that on her resume. Kevin Little. Hey, Pinball, any patches left at all? Where the hell did I put those? Hang on, I'll show you. Yeah, I haven't even thought about it for a while. These things, I probably still got 80 of them or something thereabouts. Again, if you're interested in these, send me a self-addressed stamped envelope and $5 per patch you want. I can get 2 patches in 1 envelope with a stamp on it. Okay, weight-wise. If you want 4 patches, send me $20 and 2 self-addressed stamped envelopes. Do me a favor though, if you are going to send me, ask for one, buy one, please send me an email and let me know that. I don't go to the post office that often unless I know something's coming. Post office on the other side of town. I don't need to go over there. It's out of my way. I mean, I go because it's near the dump. I go when I need to take the trash out. That's every week and a half, something like that. But if I know there's something coming, then I will go make a special trip. So, but if you're interested in one of those, that's what you got. Okay. Estates on 85. I remember Tylenol, the cause of retail tampering. Boy, yeah. I mean, y'all remember that when you had, I remember the guy was going into drugstores or whatever it is, and he was taking a needle and putting them in the Tylenol packages or whatever. And I mean, that was some scary shit going on there. Yeah, that was different. Sandra Mateus says, I use beans in my chili. Thank you. Okay, moving it along. Vicky Savage, I would be surprised if the recalled meat, eggs, and dairy were not all CAFO. Okay, if there's an acronym, I'm not sure. CAFO. If it's an acronym or if it's a typo, I'm not sure. Wyoming Yeti, Pinball, how's Mrs. P doing on keto? She is on keto. Let's see, Mrs. P is down. I'll get you the total. She is down she's down exactly 20 pounds. and I am down 23.4. So, yeah. So, yeah, between the two of us, we've almost lost a 50-pound bag of potatoes. Think about it that way, guys. Okay. You know, 20-pound bag, two 10-pound bags of potatoes. That's what I've lost from my gut in 3 months. All right. Get back to where I was. There we go. Soul Reaper. I don't give a crap when anyone says chili needs beans. Yeah, you can tell all these people are not from Texas. I remember living down in Texas and I put beans in my chili, and I mean, I swear to God, I thought they were going to shoot me. No, no offense. That was just fun. All right, we shot to the bottom. Let's see if I can find where we were. We're at least somewhat close. Okay, there we go. Tylenol, beans. Royal Lioness Pinball, about 100 quarts of venison chili. I'm jealous. Okay, yeah, venison. Venison is one of my favorite meats to put in chili. We talked about that. Sherry, Florida, Boss Girl Pinball, can you at least have coffee in the morning on your diet? Yes, I have my coffee every day. I drink my coffee black. That shouldn't surprise anybody. You know me and sugars. I mean, I just don't do them. Depending on the way people are doing the diet, some people say you can put cream in your coffee. Doesn't matter. I've drank my coffee. I mean, I started drinking coffee when I was in the Army. Okay. You're out in the field. You're happy you got coffee. You're not going, oh crap, I don't have sugar and cream. It's warm. You know, that's it. You know, I started drinking black coffee, and I really don't like. Now, give me an iced coffee, cream and sugar. Okay, hot coffee, black. Jenny, thanks for being here, Pinball. I've noticed people posting 5x5 in the chat. What does that mean? At the beginning, Jenny, that means that everybody can see me and hear me. It's basically a communication check. Okay, so 5x5 basically saying loud and clear, but they can also see me. So it's just, and you'll see most of the people on YouTube will ask for that. Somebody give me a 5x5. Just, we're trying to make sure our connection's good. D. Van Eyck, I'm watching you on my phone, and Ryan Hall, y'all on the TV, two of my favorite fellas. There you go. Well, I feel honored that I got added into that list. So, but no, I mean, Ryan's, yeah, definitely worth watching, especially when the weather's bad. Tony Lawrence, I like elbow macaroni in my chili. Chili Mac. Mrs. P does not like chili mac. Now, I will say this, do not can your chili with macaroni in it. It's going to be mush. But yes, I like my chili over macaroni too. And no, sorry, Cincinnati, I don't put cinnamon in my chili. I lived there. I lived in Florence for a few years, 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago now. I was not a fan of Skyline chili. So, just saying. Joe Shinpaw, I'm assuming that's not what, or that this should be what and not who. What does bone and blood meal help the garden? Okay, blood meal is a great source of nitrogen, and bone meal is a great source of phosphorus. So that's what you're looking, and calcium, of course. But that's what you're looking to add. So, you know, nitrogen you need for the green growth in your plants. Phosphorus you need for the fruiting or the rooting. You know, I mean, if you're growing turnips or beets or potatoes or something like that, you need that. So that's why when you hear somebody say they're putting blood meal and bone meal in, that's for the greening and the fruit. Brody, is the EcoFlow Wave 2 portable AC worth it? Absolutely. God, this has got to be at least a year ago that I did, probably last summer, but 9 months ago, that I did the review on the Wave 2. The Wave 1 was good. The Wave 2 was better. And if you guys remember, last summer, our air conditioner went out. And Mrs. P and I put our Wave 1 that we have in our bedroom. Now, our bedroom is probably 12 by 20, I'd say. And it couldn't cool down that entire, there's also 14-foot ceilings in most of the bedroom because, again, we live in an A-frame house. It couldn't cool down, get it down to 72 degrees or whatever. I mean, these were 95-degree days and 89-degree nights. But it was enough to cool the room down so with between that and a ceiling fan, we could sleep, you know. Now, if you have a smaller room or one with 8 or 9 foot ceilings, yeah, it'll cool down that room. That could be, as stupid as it is, something like that in a grid down scenario, that could be a lifesaver. If you don't have anywhere to cool somebody off that's heat exhaustion or, I mean, God forbid, heat stroke, that you're going to need to be able to keep cool. And as I said many times, probably with something like that, what you're going to have is a cooling room, one bedroom. That's where everybody goes to cool off. And that's it. All right. 10 o'clock, guys. I don't want to jump into God's Prepared Warriors live stream, but I got to go. My time's up. We'll see y'all in the morning. Pinball out.